on this computer. And welcome back to the Good to Go pod. Hello, awesome people. I hope you're all feeling amazing. I have this super interesting person here today, and I have to be perfectly honest with you. You are the first person I have approached about my podcast. Here I am sitting in my cave, about my podcast, who I've never actually met before. So you're kind of a stranger to me, but not really. We're going to be friends after this, whether you like it or not. Anyway, the person I have here with me today is Meliors Simms. Meliors, tell us about yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
So I am the holistic tooth fairy, and I'm a natural oral health coach. I help people heal and prevent their own tooth decay and gum disease with natural, intuitive strategies, home remedies, lifestyle changes, and a lot of kind of intuitive, metaphysical, energy healing type of work. Yeah.
So many questions. I have so many questions. Mostly because, like, for, in my own life, and, for those people who really know me know that I'm a complete hippie at heart. And oral and dental care for me that we have in the Western world feels completely counterintuitive to what I feel is happening in the body. But I have no experience, knowledge, or education to back up what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And so my oral health goes on the back burner. Anyway, we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
And I've had some issues with my teeth lately, and I was talking to my mum, and my mum just goes, "Well, that's what happens, as you get older, your teeth fall out of your head." And and I was having another discussion with another friend the other day about this. This is all quite serendipitous, really. I had these discussions. These discussions were not the reason I contacted you, but I had these discussions in and around the same time I contacted you. And I thought, it's going to be interesting. But, it feels like the way, had this discussion with a friend we're talking about, it's like, you brush your teeth, you floss, you go to the dentist regularly, and you still end up with fillings and having to get your teeth pulled or root canal therapy or whatever. So it feels, we're missing something.
Yeah.
But we're going to get there, right? First of all, let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
I'm also going to say, my listeners, if you're watching us on YouTube, welcome to my cave. I'm experimenting. How do you get into this? What is the moment when you sit down and go, you know what, I'm going to be the holistic tooth fairy?
Well, there was a moment, but there's a backstory that led me to the moment, and the backstory starts with a lifetime of really terrible teeth. Like, I just always had chronic teeth problems, low level to high level toothache, multiple fillings every time I went to the dentist, root canals, extractions, all kinds of problems. Not so much gums, but teeth problems. And then things came to a turning point when I got a familiar deep toothache, which I recognized from my previous root canal experiences was probably going to result in a root canal procedure when I took it to the dentist. But it's such a terrible, overwhelming pain, that kind of root canal pain, that I did go to the dentist, and he agreed, and he said, yep, you need another root canal, but we have to get the infection down first, so come back in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Sent me home with antibiotics, and I just kind of had an epiphany and went, this is ridiculous. This is like my second root canal in 2 years, and what would be my 7th root canal in my life.
Yep.
I can't go on like this. There's got to be an alternative to brushing and flossing and doing what the dentist says.
Yeah. Can I just ask, this is just for my curiosity, how old were you when you had 7 root canals?
Yeah, well, I've only had 6 because I was able to prevent
so you stopped that one, yeah.
How old was I? I'm really bad at remembering my own age.
Oh, that's all right. You don't have to answer that question.
It was about 40, I think, 42 maybe. Yeah. A little over 10 years ago. Anyway, for the first time ever, it occurred to me to do some research, like what are alternative ways to take care of your teeth.
Can I just jump in there? Were you a hippie before this? Like we
all know
so
what I say.
We all know what I mean when I say hippie, right? Were you an intuitive, energetic type, going down that path type person? Yeah,
I was very into my herbal medicine and my home healing and homeopathy and spiritual work and taking charge of my whole body health. But I wasn't thinking about my mouth as part of that whole body system. To me, that was just give all my power over to the dentist. I brushed and I flossed and mouthwashed and, followed all the rules, but I didn't think about it in the context that I thought about the rest of my body's health.
Yeah, okay.
Which is very common.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that was my turning point that day. And I discovered nutritional guidelines for repairing it's called Cure Tooth Decay was the book I came across by Ramiel Nagel.
We'll ask you to send us a link to that later.
Absolutely, yes. And I started following just a few of his suggestions. I wasn't even doing the whole protocol. Kind of cherry picked the easiest things. And my toothache died down. I didn't take the antibiotics. My toothache died down. The infection went away. I went back to the dentist for my 2-week appointment to have the root canal and said, I don't think I need this anymore. And he had a look and he said, no, you do not need a root canal anymore. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Wow.
And my mind went,
yeah.
And I just started throwing myself kind of more deeply into what I was learning from Ramiel Nagel in that book and researching more widely, learning everything I could, buying all the books I could find, spending hours going down those Google rabbit holes, self-educating and experimenting on myself.
Yep.
Yeah. And then friends and family started asking me, why I was eating a particular way, or, I would tell them that my teeth were better. And then people started asking me for advice. And eventually, about, 7 years later, I spent a long time just being my own tooth fairy, not anyone else's tooth fairy, really. And then 3.5 years ago, on my 50th birthday, I was listening to thank you, for 3 years ago. So it was kind of a magical day, I just downloaded this idea. I could do this. I could help other people with their teeth. Like, I've learned all this stuff. Not very many people know it. It's information that I reckon people are really hungry for.
Yeah.
I knew that no one else was offering any kind of natural oral health coaching because I was so deeply immersed in researching everything there was. Like, I knew what was out there and it wasn't anything like this. So before that, it hadn't occurred to me that it could be something like this.
Yeah.
But once it did, I was set up my website, started my mailing list, and started offering sessions, coaching sessions. And now 3.5 years later, I've probably helped, 500 people.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. There's a lot of interest and enthusiasm for this work.
Yeah.
People are hungry for it.
Yeah. I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Good.
Totally ready for it. My listeners are ready for it, whether they know it or not. So you say they're nutritional advice, right? So, one of the big changes for you with your own oral and dental health was nutritional advice.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Okay, so before that, I had been, like many people kind of who are interested in health and slightly obsessed with weight loss. I had tried all kinds of diets and ways of eating and, but they were all really restrictive. And what blew my mind about Cure Tooth Decay, that approach, was it was like, add in the nutrients that your teeth need.
Yep.
And I decided to shift my priority from getting, inverted commas, slimmer and healthier to healing my teeth. That would be how I would organize my eating, and I would just not worry about my weight.
Yep.
And see what happened, like as an experiment. I ended up losing a bunch of weight, by the way.
Interesting. Can I just ask, was that incredibly freeing, learning to frame your food intake in a different way?
Yeah.
course it was.
So fat-soluble vitamins. So
fat-soluble vitamins. What does that mean?
High-quality animal products, so dairy products and meat that are really rich in these particular vitamins A, D, and K2.
A, D, and K2.
Yeah. And minerals. And you get a lot of the minerals from bone broth, but also from vegetables, high-quality vegetables, so nutrient-dense vegetables.
Nutrient-dense vegetables.
So it was a revelation to me to nourish my teeth and think about what can I add in that will add to my health rather than what should I take out.
Yep.
So,
because I can't remember if this was in a Facebook group or in your emailer that goes out, but I remember you saying, either written or saying, I can't remember. I have stalked you. Yes, I have. That if you're wanting to Jesus, come on, Joe. Sorry, it's like 10 o'clock at night and past my bedtime. So my brain's not working very well for me right now. If I want to consume better nutritious food for my health, if I want to say nutrient my teeth, that's not the right thing to say. But
nourish your teeth.
Nourish, thank you. That's the word. If I want to nourish my teeth, I have to be prepared to eat animal products. And I heard that and I went, oh, there's a few people who are going to be unhappy with you. I am an animal product consumer, so it's not an issue for me. But how do you help a non-animal product consumer reconcile that?
Sure. So let me clarify that animal products are a shortcut, but they are not the only way. Okay. If you are prepared to put in extra effort around other ways of supporting your teeth health, then it's definitely possible to take really good care of your teeth as a vegetarian. It's a lot more difficult as a vegan, but I help people who are vegans to try and heal their teeth and have some degree of success. It's hard. You know, the animal products just make it so easy. Thank you, animals, for helping us and being part of this kind of cycle of life.
Cyber 5 on that one. Yes, absolutely. You know, and and what I'm hearing there, and I wholeheartedly agree, is if we are being conscious about what we're doing and grateful for everything that we are consuming, then in inverted commas, from a karmic cycle perspective, in theory, we're all good.
We could have a whole 5-hour discussion just on this little part of the story. But what I will say is you don't have to eat animal products, but it helps.
Okay, cool. And help me nerd out on this, right? How does consuming the right types of, and we've used here, fat-soluble vitamins, minerals, nutrient-rich vegetables, how does that help my teeth?
Yes, so your teeth are not kind of inert, dead rocks in your mouth. Like I think we are taught to think of it. We're taught that our hair is dead once it comes out of the hair follicle. Yeah. And I always kind of thought, well, the teeth are probably just dead too. They're just sitting there being.
But here's the thing,
not doing anything.
Yeah, but here's the thing I can't reconcile, right? Your teeth have nerves.
Exactly.
How can they be dead if they have nerves?
They're not dead.
I can't reconcile that in my head.
Yeah, it's a fallacy, and I don't know really where I got that idea from, except that it's a really common idea.
Well, you know, my dentist and my education in my Australian education in the 70s, sort of thing. You know, which is, you know, brush your teeth, but you know they're just, and even it's not, you know what, it's not even my education in the 70s. It's my fitness and my massage education in the 90s and 2000s. Which are, you know, your teeth. They're you know,
take them for granted.
Don't worry about them.
Yeah,
we'll deal with them later.
And also we're told that it's a really common myth, and I still see people perpetrating that it's the only part of our body that can't regenerate, and that is not true. Teeth do regenerate. Enamel regenerates. Dentin can regenerate. The nerve can regenerate, gums can regenerate, and the jawbone can regenerate. There's nothing in your mouth that can't regenerate. I'm not saying it's easy, but I see people doing it.
You and I need to have a conversation. I want to be very clear. I am not going to try and get a free consultation out of you. However, no. I need your help.
Let me
but I'm broke because of COVID-19. So, but yeah, no, sorry, you go ahead. Explain.
Okay.
Help me understand.
Teeth are made up of millions of miles of tiny little tubules, so microscopic, like thread-like tubes. And those tubes are pumping fluid.
Yep.
And that pumping action is called dental flow.
What is fluid? What type of fluid?
I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
So the dental flow is the mechanism. It's like the engine driving this flow of nutrients, proteins, hormones, oxygen, and liquid, fluid, blood, whatever the medium is, through the bloodstream in the jaw, into the roots of the teeth, and then out from the inside of the tooth outwards to the enamel through all these tiny little tubules. And at each of the different layers of the teeth, so you've got the enamel on the outside and then the dentin under that, and then inside is the pulp or root or nerve. It's a mixture of all of the above. Each of those levels, different proteins, hormones, nutrients, whatever, get dropped off. And what's left by the time that dental flow reaches the enamel is a mineral, like the exact mineral components of the enamel, so that it's constantly regenerating and regrowing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when my dentist tells me my enamel is, I don't have enough enamel on my teeth, does that mean I need to up my mineral content?
It means you need to have enough of the right proportions of the right minerals.
Yeah.
So it's not like just a blind.
No. But I need to be better with, a better way of saying that would be I need to be more conscious of consuming the right minerals to help nourish my teeth.
You need to make sure you've got enough of the right minerals, and you also need to make sure your dental flow is working, the mechanism of the dental flow to drive it in there. Otherwise, the minerals won't go where they're needed.
Yeah, okay. And how much is that dental flow affected by tension, stress, hormones, all of that?
So the dental flow is triggered by the parotid gland, which are little glands, the largest of the, they're just kind of behind the jawbone under the ear. There are salivary glands, so dental flow also drives the production of saliva.
Yep.
But it's a mechanical thing, so it's like pumping into the jaw, saliva, blood, whatever. And that parotid gland has a threshold of stress which will turn it off. It also has a threshold of blood sugar levels that will turn it off. So the two things that really affect your dental flow are stress and blood sugar.
So I have to stop eating sugary things.
You need to be a lot more careful about how you're eating sweet things.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that. But I like sugar. Anyway, we're not going to talk about sugar today. Well, we will, but not in that context.
We will. It's important.
Oh God, it's so fascinating. So I'm a massage therapist. How can I'm just going to get off food for a second and get onto the muscle and the physiological of the body and that kind of stuff. How can I help not just myself, but also my clients? What kind of does massage help? Is the first question there.
Yes, massage does help. So basically, the jaw muscles are the strongest muscles in the whole body. They can put 400 pounds of pressure on the teeth. That's such a lot of power in relatively small space, like compared to the quads. Not nearly as much power in the quads, and they're much bigger muscles.
Yeah.
So when those muscles are contracted and tense, that's putting a lot of pressure on the teeth, on the gums, but also constricting the dentinal flow through the bloodstream, because that constriction of muscle tightens up the available space for the blood to flow through.
Yep.
So massaging the jaw, the neck, the scalp, the face, the shoulders, all because they're all connected. It's, you know, such a relatively small space, and you'll know from your study of anatomy as a massage therapist how interconnected all these muscles are. They're literally meeting at different spots. And so you can get jaw tension referring off neck tension. And I think a lot of the kind of epidemic of teeth grinding and clenching that's going on in the world at the moment is related to this thrusting the head forward and looking at the little screen in your hand, right?
Hiding in your recording cave.
Yeah, possibly that's not helping either. It's so cute though.
I know, right?
So so there's a lot that you can do as a massage therapist in this kind of upper body area to keep the jaw relaxed and encourage good posture, good breathing, and so on.
And so then, what advice can I give my clients from, you know, exercise and massage perspective to go away and, you know, even on a metaphysical level, to help with energetic and blood flow and that kind of stuff in their own home life? Like, you know, particularly teeth grinding at night. Oh, good God. Like I'm a jaw clencher. You know, how can I tell my body to just bloody stop it? Because I don't want to have to go and, you know, I'll tell you about my current dental issues off air. You know, I don't want to have to go and spend 30,000 Swedish crowns, which is about 10,000 New Zealand dollars, because the dentist says I need a procedure, which in my heart I feel like I can probably do a different thing.
So it's a matter of being consistent with daily habits of jaw relaxation. So I recommend people do a self massage of their jaw the night before you go to bed, because if you go to sleep with a relaxed jaw, you're much likely to get through the whole night without clenching and grinding. But if you go to sleep with tension in your jaw, 5 minutes of self massage before you go to sleep. A lot of people who I've gotten to do that have stopped wearing the night guard that the dentist prescribed for them.
Awesome.
And
5 minutes.
I
stopped wearing it because I couldn't be bothered.
They're not comfortable.
No,
they're a hassle. And there's other side effects that are more serious than that. But
what are they?
You know,
go on, tell me. I want to hear. I want to hear your opinion.
It can put pressure on the gums. So depending on the fit of the night guard, some people start getting receding gums or gum inflammation from wearing it. And the other thing that happens is the night guard stops the friction of the teeth being ground against each other with that 400 pounds of pressure, but doesn't stop the constriction of the blood flow and the dental flow. It doesn't stop the tension. It just puts something in between the teeth.
Puts it differently. And you know, for those people who know me, I'm always going to say you need to work out why it is that you're doing that in the first place. You know, you've got to do the personal work there and deal with the cause of the tension or the cause of the teeth grinding. And for most of us, it's just, you know, learning to communicate. But anyway.
Which is not unrelated to the, you know, the kind of metaphysical role that the teeth play in the mouth, you know. They enable us to speak clearly.
Unpack that. Can we unpack that? Can we totally unpack the metaphysical role? I can't even say it. The metaphysical role of the teeth in the body.
So the teeth play a number of metaphysical roles as well as physical roles. So their physical roles are chewing, holding our face shape, they support speech, they help with breathing. There's like tiny little immune systems inside those tubules inside every tooth. It's like a little mini immune system that's part of the greater immune system of our body. They're like doing a lot, those teeth. They're also, each tooth sits on a meridian. And so it's like an energy center in the same way that like acupressure points are energy centers. And so they play a role in the energy body in that way. But they're also, they're right there in the lower jaw, is really strongly associated with the throat chakra and the kind of the energy of speaking your truth.
Yep.
And the upper jaw is sort of associated with the third eye chakra and how you perceive and relate to the world.
Yep.
So they're also storehouses, like, because they're the densest matter in our body. There's nothing in our body that is so dense as our teeth. They act like energetic magnets. So they'll become storehouses for unresolved emotional issues that you can't deal with or express or process for whatever reason. You're too young, it's not safe, you've got other things you have to do. Teeth play this role of holding on to that stuff until we're ready and able to deal with it.
And I'm just going to jump in there. I've had more than one person share this in my Facebook feed, and I know you shared it. Yeah. This is an article recently that science is finally recognizing that our teeth hold our emotional memories.
Mm-hmm.
Did you share that? Was that you who shared that, or somebody else? Anyway,
how recently was it shared?
A couple of weeks ago. I don't know. Time's weird at the moment.
I don't know. If I've seen that.
Okay, I'll try and find it. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, do. Yeah, but that is something that I've been saying and working with for a long time. It's not new knowledge. Traditional Chinese medicine is very has got this already.
Yep.
And yeah, there's a few kind of writers and thinkers in the world of alternative oral health who are working with this, and I'm planning to write a book myself that will focus on this side of things. So
when does that come out? When does the book come out? When
do I start writing it is more of a question. Can I get a minute?
Oh my God, I know, right? Anyway.
Yeah. So they're also, the other thing that teeth are doing on a metaphysical level is the DNA inside teeth are carrying family patterns of, physical coding around how we absorb nutrition and how the teeth grow and how resilient they are, and a whole lot of genetic influences on the health of our teeth. But they're also carrying family patterns of trauma, family secrets, and so on, and those are laden. So a lot of time people who I work with who are doing the metaphysical work, the emotional work with their teeth, it's not their own personal life story that is the origin of those hurts. And it's their opportunity, it's our opportunity to heal that family pattern when our symptoms in our mouths draw our attention to it. And in doing so, that energetic healing impact goes back generations and forward generations as well. So when we take up that opportunity to do that deep healing that the teeth offer us, it changes everything in our lineage. Yeah.
I've got so many things running around my head right now. I'm just going to start talking. We'll see what comes out. It's a mystery. Okay. Who knows? It's here I am. I'm, when you talk about family patterns and history and that kind of stuff, in my own personal meditation work, just this week, I've started, I've sort of had this push to start doing some ancestry work. And, when I sit there and put all these little blocks into place, and I look at what I've been going through in the past couple of months, especially with my teeth, it's just like, okay, so that's kind of pointing in this particular direction for me right now.
Yes.
So I'm going to make the assumption that meditation is a good thing to help.
Yes.
And, I guess in particular, doing meditations if you are a meditation practitioner, understanding that going into a meditation with a particular intent. If I'm wanting to help heal these family patterns, these ancestral patterns, and like you say, the future patterns as well that are connected to my teeth, what kind of intent do I need to take into that work?
So the intention of opening a conversation with your teeth is usually where I get people to start. So really engaging and with relaxed curiosity and being open to what your teeth are telling you. And the magic thing that happens is often when you start doing that, the teeth no longer need to have such painful or damaging symptoms to get your attention, because they feel confident that they've got your attention because you're going there quietly, mindfully, with relaxed curiosity. And the symptoms ease off just from doing that. Yeah.
And they're being listened to. They're no longer screaming at you.
Yeah.
Just like everything. All right, I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
I have to say, I love, and I'm so going to steal this term, relaxed curiosity.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic term. I love it. I'm stealing it.
It's a great one for every area of life.
Totally.
Every conversation you have.
Oh my God, yes, totally. I love it. I so love it. And that's the second time. Yes, that's the second time I've written relaxation in my notes so far. Interesting. Right. Moving right along. So we're doing we're learning to meditate and approach our oral health with relaxed curiosity, allowing our teeth to speak to us, to get the message across, and listening to the messages. We're doing a nice little 5-minute massage, head, neck, shoulders, before we go to sleep at night. What I want to, how does that, they're my steps there. Gums. So we've talked about teeth, gums.
Yeah.
How do I, tell me about, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Chronic. That's what I'm looking for. Chronic bleeding gums. What's that? What is it? How do I, is it the same? Like, do I have to do different things to deal with the teeth and the gums, or it's all one thing, or lots of questions there? Sorry.
Yes. So the principles are the same. The principles are the same for teeth and for gums, and I would argue for pretty much anything else in your body.
Yeah.
The principle of listening to symptoms with relaxed curiosity, of nourishing with the right nutrient-dense foods, vitamins and minerals that those body parts need, and relaxing, avoiding stress. That applies to gums as much as to teeth. Gums are complex in their own right. Teeth are complex, but gums are complex in different ways. So the anatomy of the gum, we look at our gums and we see this pink, moist membrane filling the inside of our mouths that the teeth are plugged into, and we think, yep, that's the gum. But in fact, the gum is a very thin membrane sitting on top of the jawbone.
Okay.
Yeah, so that the gum is literally just millimeters thick. And in between that membrane and the jawbone run a whole lot of nerves. That's why gums are so sensitive. And the blood vessels, so they're really close to the surface, because there's just no muscle or fat between the gum and the bone. The gum is right, or that membrane is right on top of the bone. And so you could be bleeding for all kinds of reasons. Nutrition might be playing a role, how your oral hygiene habits, your technique of brushing or flossing, your frequency of flossing plays a role. I'm sure most dentists, that's one of the pieces of education that dentists give. But also, there can be more serious issues, periodontal disease and inflammation, abscesses. So we'd need to look at the context of the bleeding gums, the colour and smell of the blood, where it is in the mouth, what triggers it off, how long it lasts, to understand what we need to do about it, because that symptom can have a whole lot of meanings. Once again, relaxed curiosity is really useful. Like, oh, there's some blood. What's going on? Is there a pattern? What do I observe? What is it telling me?
Yep.
How do I respond to what it's telling me? And sometimes it's as simple as you haven't flossed for a while and there's been a buildup of bacteria, and that has compromised that membrane. And by flossing daily or twice daily for a week, it'll stop bleeding. Sometimes it's that simple. That's the advice that mainstream dentistry will share with us.
Yeah.
But sometimes, a lot of time, it's that we're not eating enough of the right kind of minerals and vitamins, or we're eating the right kind of minerals and vitamins, but there's too much tension in our jaw for it to get into the gums.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
or
yep.
we have an emotional or energetic issue that is crying out to be healed, and until that block to healing, that energetic block to healing is addressed, then the body will continue to call your attention to that piece of work that you need to do.
Yeah.
But it's different and unique for everyone. And so the way that I work as a coach is to create a very personalized protocol. I've got all these principles and this big toolkit, but I really am listening and encouraging you to listen to what the particulars are of your situation, and then we kind of pinpoint the healing strategies to your unique needs and circumstances.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's so cool. I could just, I'm fascinated. It's so cool. So, and because I'm an action person, I like to have action steps in my life and everybody else's life. Tell me about correct brushing and flossing technique. What have I been doing wrong all these years?
Well, you've probably been brushing too hard. That's pretty much, people think they need to scrub their teeth like they're scrubbing grout out of bathroom tiling.
And don't we? Isn't that not what we're doing?
No, like polish your teeth like you're polishing antique plate silver, and you don't want to rub any of the silver off.
Oh.
Yeah. So a good practical tip for changing that is to go from holding your toothbrush in a fist to holding it between your fingertips.
Like a delicate.
Amazing what a difference just that simple change makes.
Right.
Your touch will be much more delicate with your fingertips. You've got a lot more control. If you think about how when you were learning to write as a kid, you were like with the crayon, and now you are balancing it delicately with a lot of control between your fingertips. Yeah. Same kind of level of control with brushing.
Oh, so going to do that tonight.
Let
it go.
Yeah.
And then flossing.
Yes.
How should I be flossing?
So flossing should be a sensual pleasure. There's all those nerve endings in your gums, and we might be so focused on how they hurt when things aren't going right. But think about how nice it is to French kiss someone and how good those gums feel when they get a bit of a tickle. And you can get some of that same sensory pleasure from flossing. And if you're doing that, you're doing it right. So
I'm going to be terribly Australian right now, and I'm just going to go, so it should be like having a good pash.
Yes. A pash with your floss.
Pash on with your floss. I love it.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever said that to me before. And like I say, like the dentist says, you've got to floss and you've got to get in there and get it all out. So that's what you do.
Like it's definitely a good idea to get all the food particles and bacteria. Well, you don't want to get the bacteria out of your mouth. You want to get the food particles out of your mouth, and you want to disrupt the bacterial communities so that they're not getting out of balance.
Yep.
So our oral microbiome, the inside of our mouth, the little world on the inside of our mouth, is populated by between 300 and 800 different strains of bacteria.
Wow.
I know. And they're basically almost all of them really good, helpful, important bacteria. Just like gut bacteria, we've learned is so important. Oral bacteria is really important. However, some bacteria can, if they get too dominant in a particular part of your mouth, can cause periodontal disease or lead to plaque and tartar, or can cause decay. So they can cause problems. But you don't want to go in there with the nuclear bomb of mouthwash and kill all the bacteria in your mouth, because that causes more problems than it solves. So many issues with
Okay, so I'm throwing out my mouth. I'm throwing out the mouthwash that I just bought.
Like Listerine is just the worst. Like any alcohol-based mouthwash, it's got really a close association with oral cancer, and you just don't. It's not worth it. Don't do it.
All right.
Yeah, just a simple saltwater rinse will help bring the bad bacteria back under control and balance the microbiome without destroying it.
That totally answered my next question. That's awesome.
Yes. So rather than being really vigorously harsh with floss, I recommend something like a oral irrigator, like a water pick is a particular brand that's very good.
Yep.
And that is a very good way to clean along the gum line and between the teeth. Not necessarily instead of flossing, but as well as it flushes things out without any risk of damaging the membrane.
Yeah, see, now I've looked at those things and I've gone, is it worth it?
So worth it.
You're telling me it is?
Yeah, invest in a good quality one. What's not worth it is buying a cheap one.
Yep.
Ask me how I know, and I'll show you the cupboard full of broken oral irrigators because I was too cheap to buy a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Now, I don't read that sentence. That's water picks. This sentence. The juice versus actually chewing. So this is not a bugbear, but it's, and I think we're kind of coming out of the magical green juice phase in the world. I'm not sure, but this whole thing where we just blend everything up and have a juice, as opposed to eating the salad.
Yeah.
What am I doing when I don't eat my food to help my body absorb those nutrients?
So from an evolutionary perspective, our teeth were designed to do a lot of hard work. And when they don't get to do enough work, they feel like they don't really have a purpose in life, and they get a bit depressed and unhappy and feel useless and hang loose, and we don't really want them hanging loose. So it's really good to have a balance of chewy and crunchy and hard food to help maintain healthy teeth. Now, if you've got weak teeth, you need to not put too much, put them to work too hard. Just like if you're really unfit, you don't go straight to the highest weights at the gym. You build up gradually.
Yep.
So, if the last time you ate a ginger nut, you broke a tooth, don't immediately start biting into
for my Swedish listeners, a ginger nut biscuit is really hard biscuit that if you've got weak
and
teeth,
I've broken a tooth on one,
why
I gave that example. So I wouldn't recommend going from some such vulnerable and weak teeth straight into like biting into a whole carrot. But you could start like crunching into apple slices instead of just eating cooked apple or drinking apple juice, for example. And build up gradually, because the muscles, and as you're strengthening your teeth with the whole holistic approach, they will get stronger. You'll be able to eat more confidently, and as you're able to eat more confidently, you should be giving your teeth more work to do. And so here's a tip for mums or parents of young children. You can really help your children to have strong, healthy, resilient, straight teeth by giving them hard, crunchy, chewy food. As soon as it's they're past the age of choking danger, chewing on a carrot stick, a bit of jerky if they're not vegetarian children, things like that helps develop the jaw muscles, which helps to broaden the palate, which gives more room for the teeth to grow in straight, and generally builds resilience and strength in the teeth.
Interesting. Awesome. So good. So good. I think I have got all of my questions that I was going to ask you.
Excuse me.
We're just going to have a little bit of radio silence here while I try and get organised. I apologise. Not sorry, really. So I just want to ask you so many questions, but at the same time, I think it's important that people, if they want to ask you their own questions, should approach you personally.
I have a website where there's a lot of information. There's blog articles, there's videos, and there's like a lot to get started with healing your own teeth. And I encourage everyone, go to holistictoothfairy.com and check out the free resources there. And if you get on my mailing list, every week I send out an email, and I would say 9 out of 10 weeks there's like a juicy bit of original content that it's usually like a tip that you can apply at home. So
and also Meliors will tell you all about how she broke her leg bushwalking earlier on in the year as well.
Yeah, I'm still learning to walk again after my broken ankle.
Oh my God, you poor lady.
Which I'll just tell you something about that, which is that I know about 5 people who broke their ankle around the same time as me, like within a 2-week span. It's like a whole rash of broken ankles in my wider circle of acquaintances, plus the woman I was in the hospital room with. I have healed so much faster than every single other person I know, including the health coaches. Yeah. And I think it's because the diet that I eat for my teeth helps the bone to heal faster.
Yeah. And it's because there's something you said in there when you were talking about nutrition that I have a very good friend of mine here who's a Chinese herbalist and acupuncturist, and she raves about it, and we've talked a lot about it, which is bone broth.
Yes. Highly recommend bone broth as a teeth healing nutrient.
Yeah.
And a bone healing nutrient.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Very similar chemical or mineral makeup between bones and teeth. So healing your teeth will help strengthen your bones, which is really useful for women in particular who are vulnerable to osteoporosis.
Yes.
2 for 1.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we're all eating properly. We're massaging our jaws. We're having good conversations with our bodies, especially our teeth, dealing with our ancestral issues.
Yes.
We're learning to relax. We're brushing in a far more gentle and sensual manner. We're having a good pash with our floss.
Yes.
I'm going to laugh about that all week now. We're gonna look at getting a water pick or an oral irrigator, and we're gonna start rinsing. We're gonna throw out the old. I just bought some, right? It's the mouthwash. And then we're gonna start rinsing with salt water to help even out the bacteria in our mouth.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we need to think about other than if we do have issues or if we want to? But we'll get to the contact bits in a minute. But for you, as the holistic tooth fairy, is there anything else that you would say to somebody to go, this is key in order to help fix your, or, keep your oral hygiene?
I think a key principle is to think of it as a lifelong project. Okay. So we're very much trained to think as long as we brush and floss, we can just go to the dentist every 6 to 12 months and they'll repair anything that goes wrong. That's all we need to think about with our teeth and gums. But this approach, this holistic approach, it's a lifestyle change, and that means changing habits for the long term. So changing the way you eat for the long term, because you want to keep your teeth and gums healthy for the rest of your life. And the older you get, the more important it is to really look after them properly, because like the rest of our bodies, aging affects their health. And so implement changes to your oral health habits gradually with a view to how can I do this in a way that I can stick at forever, rather than jumping in boots and all and trying to do all the things at once, buying all the products and then getting overwhelmed and dropping it after 3 weeks. So one thing at a time, or a couple of things at a time.
may or may not have said similar things about other things in my life.
Yeah.
So, taking care of yourself, your whole self, is a lifelong project. I love it. I love it. So, Meliors, we are in fact coming up on the hour, believe it or not. That's been a really quick hour. What a fun conversation. So, the title of this series on my podcast is The Balancing Act, right? So you're helping us with this conversation with the balancing act of keeping ourselves fit and healthy and mentally healthy as well. But you don't have to share this if you don't want to, but I want to know what you personally do to help keep your personal balancing act in check.
I try and steer a course towards my health goals in an intuitive and flexible way rather than trying to conform with a rigid prescription. So I'm always trying to check in with what is my body telling me and also in a really pragmatic way, because particularly, this is so highlighted at the moment where the world has completely changed in the last 6 weeks. Like, it was unimaginable.
I just need to put a little thing in there. If you are listening or watching this or watching this in the future, it is April in 2020, and we are in the middle of COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes.
Go.
Yes. So we're, as a planet, coming to terms with quite an upheaval in our daily lives and our habits and what's available to us in terms of food and resources and the emotional kind of challenges of being alive. And so I don't think it's helpful to set yourself unrealistic standards around your health, but to keep orienting your intentions towards the goal of being fully healthy and living to your fullest potential, physically, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, all of that, having that as the goal, but not using that as a stick to beat yourself up for not achieving that goal every day. So that's, if I could say anything about balance, it would be find the balance between holding that intention out for yourself and being really gentle with wherever you're at right now, really realistic about what's possible right now. Yeah.
Awesome. I know you said something in there. I'm just going to, throw my 2 cents with him because I do. And it is because it's something that we do, which is trying to fit your health and fitness regimens into your crazy life, not your crazy life around your regimen. And I find that when I say that to people and suddenly they go, oh yeah, it's like, stop trying to fit your life around this thing because it doesn't work that way. Turn it around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Thank you. Oh, you're amazing. I'm so glad we had this conversation. I'm so happy.
Me too.
We've said it already, but we're going to say it again. If people want to get in contact with you, how do they do that?
So come to holistictoothfairy.com and you can email me through the website. You can check out my coaching services. You can access a whole lot of free resources. I also have a Facebook page called The Holistic Tooth Fairy. I'm on Instagram as Meliors S, so that's not such a source of tooth fairy information. But if you're interested in my personal life as well, hey, come join the party. I'm not shy. YouTube channel. That's Meliors 6, and so I'm in all the usual places,
awesome.
sharing information, and I've got a lot of pandemic specific information if you are watching this in this moment of time that we're recording it, that relates to what's going on with dentistry at the moment, which is really important. I think if you do have teeth issues, you need to understand the risks associated with dental services at the moment. So check that out.
So we'll put links to all of that in the show notes for everybody who wants to get in contact with you. Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm happy.
I'm happy.
So many more questions, but we're gonna shut it off. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. It's early in the morning for you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for that, and bye for now.
Thanks for this. Bye.